Sunshot has been a part of Destiny 2 since its release and is barely used anymore. Today, combined with the Solar Titan, Sunshot is one of the best ad clearing weapons in the game and even performs extremely well in PvP. It's even comparable to Fatebringer, the beloved Vault of Glass hand cannon. Starting off with the main part of the build, the intrinsic perk of Sunshot is Sunburn. This weapon fires explosive rounds and highlights targets that take damage from Sunshot. Explosive rounds give Sunshot almost unlimited range because the perk itself doesn't have damage fall off, however the bullet does. The exotic perk on it is Sunblast. Targets killed with Sunshot explode in solar energy. This perk is a better version of Incandescent and spreads Scorch just like Incandescent does. Solar Titan, as I said before, goes really well with Sunshot because of the aspect Sol Invictus. This aspect makes solar ability final blows, Hammer of Soul impacts, and defeating scorched targets creates sunspots. Your abilities regenerate faster and your super drains more slowly while standing in a sunspot. Sunspots also apply Scorch and deal damage to targets inside. Entering a sunspot applies Restoration. Sunshot scorches enemies after you cause a different enemy to explode, meaning that you will create a sunspot from the scorched enemy. With the Ember of Singeing fragment, while targets are scorched, the barrier shield will regenerate way faster and the Ember of Eruption gives ignitions and increased blast radius. This build uses the Throwing Hammer melee and is paired with the Ember of Torches fragment, making you radiant after using your melee ability on an enemy, and Ember of Solace, lengthening the timer on Restoration and Radiant. Firebolt is a great choice as well because of the new seasonal mods Flare Up and Rain of Firebolts. But of course, it wouldn't be a Titan build without our favorite exotic, the Syntheseps, to increase the damage of melee attacks and supers when you are surrounded by enemies. I actually have a Void Titan build based around this exotic if you fancy Void a little more than Solar, so go check it out. The reason the Hammer ability is so useful is because of the healing it gives you after picking up your hammer once you hit an enemy. It also gives Restoration with final blows because of Sol Invictus and Sunspots. This constant combination of abilities, Scorches, Sunspots, and Grenades is what makes the Solar Titan a walking nuke. The mods don't have to be too specific because this build doesn't rely on recharging your abilities constantly, with your hammer being refunded after you pick it up. But I like to use these mods. Starting with my helmet, I use Solar Siphon, Hands On, and Font of Wisdom. On Syntheseps, I use Firepower and 2 grenade kickstarts. Next up on my boots, I only use Invigoration. And finally my class item, I use 2 bombers and Distribution. Like I said, it doesn't really matter which mods you use for the empty space on your chest piece and legs, but I like to use mods that improve solar weapons like Reserves and Solar Surge. When you get low on health, all you have to do is slap an enemy with your hammer and you almost immediately heal. Using your class ability also regenerates grenade energy, and with Distribution, your barricade will give you energy to every ability. The Rain of Firebolts mod gives you an extra grenade charge, and the Flare Up mod scorches the target and spawns in a fire sprite. With infinite grenades, infinite melees, and infinite Sunshot ammo, this build is one of the best in the game, both in PvP and PvE. With the new release of Master Root of Nightmares, this build will be perfect. Subscribe if you haven't already, and as always, let me know in the comments if there's any way to improve this build. Slap the like button if you found the video helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.